welcome back to Happyapplecore Homestead and Apple Wine Part 3. I'm going to tell you what we have here so that you've got your list ready, and then I'll walk you through the steps of what we're going to do today. Obviously, I have my carboy of wine. If you did not check out Part 1 and 2, make sure you do that. I will pop number 2 up here for you. I also have a bucket. And the reason why I have a bucket today is we're going to transfer this wine into that bucket so we can back sweeten it and stabilize the wine. I have a 3-gallon carboy. This was a 4-gallon recipe. If I have enough to fill a 1-gallon carboy left over once we transfer it over, then I might get that out. But for now, it's a 3-gallon because we do want the wine to go all the way up to the tippy top. I have a measuring cup here. We're going to use this for the sugar, and I've got a 1 cup measuring spoon for that, and I've got a half a teaspoon here for the potassium sorbate. I've got a nice big long spoon which we'll need to stir in the sugar. I have my hydrometer here along with my wine thief, and that is to test the gravity to make sure that the fermentation is complete on this. I also have an airlock, and the reason we're going to use an airlock instead of a solid bung is because we're back sweetening. We just want to double check and make sure it doesn't start up fermentation again, which it shouldn't because we are going to stabilize the wine today. I also have the auto siphon and the tubing that goes with it. It's kind of tangled up here, but you can see it. I have a wine glass for tasting because we're going to taste the wine so we can determine how much sugar we want to put in. I like to cut the sharpness with a little bit of sugar. Some people, if you like a dry wine and you like that brightness, then you're probably just going to want to leave it alone and don't back sweeten it, but you still want to stabilize your wine. So even if like back sweetening is not your thing, if you go down to the description, I'll have chapters there for you so you can skip this part, but don't skip stabilizing. Speaking of stabilizing, you're going to need Camden tabs and potassium sorbate. I also have some distilled water here. You can use distilled water for your airlock. I also have Everclear if I want to use that. Whatever you do in your airlock, it needs to be sanitized. So, just don't use your faucet water. And then I also have some sugar here. And I think that covers all of the supplies. The first thing we're going to do is check the gravity of this wine, and after that we will put it into the bucket. I'm going to get my wine glass ready, and we'll take the airlock off, and you'll grab your wine thief. And actually, I'm going to set down my hydrometer because I remember from last time that we have to tip this. My wine thief is not quite long enough with this tall carboy, so tip it a little bit. Be careful. Don't spill all your hard work, guys. Okay, now we've got enough wine in there. You grab your hydrometer, give it a good spin, pop it in there. And then you'll read sometimes it's a little bit hard because the wine gets up in there, but you want to try to get it in the middle so you can read where the dip goes down right here, and we're at a 0.990, which means this wine is done fermenting. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit in there, put the rest back in, and we'll set this aside because we're going to want to taste the wine after we back sweeten it. Okay, I'm going to taste this. You will not see me swallow it, not because I don't like to drink my own wine, but because it's morning and I'm not trying to drink in the morning. But I do need to taste it to see what it tastes like. That wine is good. You can taste the apples. It's still a little bit sharp, but it doesn't have any weird skunky taste or smell. I like it, but I want it to be sweeter. So I'm definitely going to back sweeten this wine. You guys, I'm sorry about my freezer. This is the loudest freezer I have ever had. That's my ice maker. And it's a brand new freezer. Do you guys have the same problem? Does your refrigerator freezer combo make strange, creepy noises? Just me? Oh well. Okay, let's move on. You guys, I cannot believe I forgot my spiel about sanitizing the equipment. I use Easy Clean. You can use whatever you want, but make sure anything that touches the wine is sanitized. All right, now with my disclaimer said, we want to get this wine into this bucket. Normally I would put this on the floor, but I know from experience that this is too tall and I'll end up spilling on the floor. So we're going to get started here and then I will move it to the floor if I can. First thing you're going to do is take off your airlock. Then you're going to grab your auto siphon and the tubing that goes with it. And here we are. This little rubber end goes in here, and mine's a little worn out, so sometimes it catches and I don't look as graceful, but we'll get it in there. I have a replacement. I just, for some reason, apparently I'm attached to this one because I just haven't even opened the other one. All right, flexible tubing goes in the bucket and the hard tube goes right in here. One of the main goals of transferring this wine now that it's done is to get it off the lees. There is like a good thick layer of spent yeast down here. So when I'm putting this auto siphon in, I don't want to just rest it on the bottom because it's going to suck up all those lees, and we don't want them in there. If you get a little bit in, it's not that big of a deal because this is called the clearing phase, and there will be more that filter down. All right, so it's coming through, not super fast, but that's okay. You can see how far down you can put it before you start getting some lees in. And where am I at? I don't see any lees yet. Oh, there they are. See that? Did you see that big thick layer come down? So I have to hold it right here at this level until she's empty. Let's see if I can, if this can go on the ground, that would be great. I just don't know if my tube, all right, that worked, yay. This will go a lot faster if you have your bucket on the ground because the auto siphon works with gravity. All right, starting to suck up the leaves, so we're going to stop there. Not super stressed about the little bit of extra wine on the bottom since I'm using a 3-gallon carboy. And hang on to your tubing because we're going to be using it again. I do highly recommend that really quick you go and put some hot soapy water in this, get it rinsed out. They're very difficult to clean if you leave it overnight and it gets all dry. And I'm going to put a cotton cloth over the top of the wine, make sure no contaminants get in it. Now it's time to back sweeten the wine. We're going to stabilize it after I taste it just because I don't really like the taste of the Camden tabs. But I'll tell you, you won't be able to taste it in the finished product, so don't skip that step. Okay, we're going to make a 2-to-1 sugar solution. So that's 2 parts water, 1 part sugar. And you guys, you don't have to do it that way. It's just how I'm doing it today. Pretty sure I'm going to want 2 cups, so I'm just going to start with it. However, you may want to consider starting really slow with your sugar. You could do half a cup at a time. Okay, then you're going to put in your water. And this is distilled water, but you could also boil water if you wanted to. This is more like a 1-to-1 than a 2-to-1. Okay, and when it's dissolved, you can go ahead and pour it right into your wine. Pour some of this in, and then I'm going to add some more water to dissolve the sugar on the bottom there. All right, now we're at to a 2-to-1 for the most part. If you wanted this to go a little faster, you could heat up your water, but I don't mind. Okay, I'm gonna pour this in, and then we're gonna give it a really good stir. I'm gonna keep this out just in case it's not sweet enough for me, although I'm pretty sure it will be. Now we're going to take our wine thief, take the hydrometer out, and just capture a little bit here. Okay, and we'll give that a taste. So that is not super sweet at all. I thought it was going to be, but it's not. And adding a little bit of the sugar really brings out the flavor of the apples. So I'm happy with my choice. Now let's go ahead and stabilize the wine. This was originally a 4-gallon recipe, so I'm still going to use the 4 Camden tabs, even though it's less than 4-ish now. And in the end, it's only going to be 3, but still there's quite a bit of wine in there. And then we also added some sugar water. So we're going to keep with the main recipe amounts. So 4 crushed Camden tabs here. Okay, and then we'll put that in. And last but not least, we want to do the potassium sorbate. You want 1/2 teaspoon per gallon, so we're going to put in 2 teaspoons. And we'll give that a really good stir. Now I'll turn you around and get you to a better vantage point. Like before, we're going to grab our auto siphon with the tubing. Flexible end goes right into the carboy. And if I can get this on the floor, I'm going to do that. Let's take a look. All right. And all the contents of this bucket are going to go into the carboy, although keep an eye on it because there might be more liquid in here than we have room for. So just make sure it doesn't overflow and cause a big old mess. Give it a couple pumps and it'll start going on its own. Okay, that's full. We're gonna take this out and put it in the bucket. So you see how the wine is all the way up the neck here? That's important because if there's a lot of head space here for the clearing phase, now that the fermentation is done, then you could spoil your wine. Now we're going to install the airlock. And I'm gonna just put this little guy on here. And we'll put a cap on this guy. And this goes right in the middle. Just like so. Guess it would help if you could see what I was doing. All right, so this goes in the middle, cap goes on that one. Then you can get your Everclear or your distilled water or boiled water and fill your airlock halfway up. I am spilling. I don't normally do this at floor level. Ah! Oh goodness, okay. All right, it's fine like this. I don't expect that the fermentation is gonna kick back in again, but that's why we have the airlock. If in a couple weeks you don't see any action, you can put a solid bung in. Last couple tips for you. Apple wine likes to be done cold. That's why a lot of us make it in the wintertime. And this wine right now is 61 degrees. It's gonna stay in a room that's really cold, which is easy for me since it's winter, even though out here in the Pacific Northwest, we didn't get a huge winter. Like, you know, those of you who live back east that are like literally covered in snow right now. So anyway, keep your apple wine cold if you can, or just put it in the coldest room of your house. You don't have to ice it or do anything like that, but if you have a cold place, put it there. If not, it's not the end of the world. This is gonna stay in this carboy for 2 months, and then I'm gonna check it. If the wine has cleared, you know, you can see a flashlight through it and it looks really nice, then we'll check it, taste it, and bottle it. That will be our next video. Regardless of how long it takes me to clear this wine, whether it takes 2 months or 4 months, our next apple wine video will be the bottling process. So you'll be able to see how different it looks, and we'll go through the bottling process together, which is really fun. It's my favorite part. You would think that someone's favorite part would be drinking the wine, but bottling the wine is my favorite part. You don't want to let your airlock go dry. That's really important because otherwise it allows air in here, and even though the headspace is low, we don't want any extra airflow going in here, and we don't want any contaminants either. So while you're waiting to see if the fermentation starts back up again, I would say within 2 weeks, if it hasn't started up, it's probably not going to. And at that point, you can put on a solid bung and just hide it away in a cool, dark place for a couple months, and then check on it, see how it looks. If it doesn't look clear enough for you in 2 months, you do want to take it off the lees, because there'll be a layer of, you know, the extra cloudiness in here will all have settled to the bottom, or most of it will have, and you'll want to transfer it off of that into a clean and sanitized carboy for another 2 months until it's clear enough for you. That's it for part 3 of how to make your own apple wine at home. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them for me and I will definitely get back to you. For those of you following my wine series, we have a Catawba wine, which is about ready for its next phase, and the long-awaited rhubarb wine has finally stopped bubbling, so I think we're gonna get that bottled up soon. It's also at the beginning of the garden season here, so those of you who, you know, power through my wine videos but really just are here for the gardening, those will be coming again very soon. And with that said, it is time for me actually to right now go and fill up my seedling trays, because that is the next step for me in the garden. I will be seeing you guys soon. Bye!